Hello, everyone. Welcome to the podcast. This is Steve O'Reilly with Gayle Saunders. We are here. Week 4 is over. We're heading into week 5. Gayle, how you doing, my friend?
I'm doing great, living the dream over here. What's the good word over there, Steve-O?
Just you know how it is down here, enjoying life in Florida, watching a lot of football this weekend. Saw some interesting things. Some teams look like they're losing their grip, maybe Pittsburgh Steelers perhaps, while other teams, Detroit Lions, Houston Texans, are stepping up and ready to play big boy football. What do you think?
Detroit Lions trying to play like they're for real. I'm telling you, they got something to prove, and they're not waiting for anybody to step up the plate. They're taking numbers, man.
Yeah, we'll get to the Lions here in a little bit. One thing we looked over after the weekend, we noticed no AFC teams are undefeated. So it brought up some questions we had asked. We were thinking, who is the best teams in the AFC? And we thought it would be interesting to talk to a former NFL player who played both for the Patriots and the Chargers, who are right in the mix for the top AFC team. And without further ado, we're going to go to that conversation with Fred McCrary, the former fullback of many NFL teams, but was a Pro Bowler with the Atlanta Falcons. Thanks, Fred, so much for joining us today on the podcast. We're going to talk a little San Diego Chargers. Fred McCrary is a former NFL veteran, played on multiple teams, won a Super Bowl. Good all-around guy to have on the podcast. Thanks for joining us today, Fred. How are things?
Man, things are good, Stevie O. Thanks for having me on, buddy. Let's do this.
All right. Let's jump right in. Let's talk a little San Diego Chargers. They're looking pretty good. They're in first place in the AFC West. I think everybody picks them to win the West. What are you seeing them going into the postseason? Do you think this is definitely a postseason team? Let's start there.
Definitely a postseason team, but it's too early. And too many things can go wrong. Too many things can go haywire before, just the first quarter of the season. We still have 3 more quarters to go. So we got a long way to go, but definitely I think they're the front runner coming out of the AFC West.
But what do you think, if you're a San Diego Chargers fan and you're watching your team, what are some of the things that they should look for to see if their team is on the right path, so to speak? Are there keys to the Chargers ball club that are important keys, so to speak?
Yeah, I think with Norv Turner and the guys out there, I played with Norv. I played for Norv. I played for a bunch of those coaches out there. I think, first and foremost, I just think they're glad the first quarter ended with a 3-1 record instead of a 1-3 record or a 0-4 record. I think that's a very big step in getting them going in the right direction. They have all the pieces to the puzzle. They have a lot of injuries right now, and that's the bye week for them is coming up soon, I believe, and hopefully that'll give them a chance to mend some of their wounds and really get it going. I really like them coming out of the West, though.
Now, when I wrote an article not too long ago about them heading over to New England, they had to play the Patriots, and it seems to be a bugaboo when they have to go to New England to play them. And it's a bugaboo for everybody. But
okay, yeah.
But what does San Diego have to do to get over that hurdle? Because, that seems to be, if they want to get into the Super Bowl, it seems to be has always been 1 or 2 teams, namely the Patriots, that have been in the way.
Right. What they have to do, that's a good question. But I tell you this, my money's going on Tom Brady at home. His record at home is phenomenal. It's hard to bet against him at home. But not just only them, but what about the Baltimore Ravens? Boy, they're looking lean and mean right about now. But it's a long way to go and a short time to get there. So let's just see what happens. It's early, and but like I said, there's a lot of football still to be played.
All right, I'm going to throw you a quick curveball. Let's talk real fast. I'm going to let you go. I do appreciate you spending some time with us. Let's talk a little bit about the Atlanta Falcons. You live in Atlanta. You played for the Falcons. I don't think they're meeting expectations. I don't think the fans think they are either. What's going on in Atlanta in your mind?
I think they're fine. They finished the first quarter 2-2. Okay, things could have been better. 3-1, 4-0. Yeah. But the bottom line is they're 2-2. They still in good shape. Nobody's running away. I think New Orleans is looking really good with Drew Brees, who I played with in San Diego. But it's a tight division. So, injuries play a key part in that. Not turning that ball will play a key part in that. Being able to run the ball. Listen, they have 4 outstanding quarterbacks in that division. With the young guy from Tampa Bay. What's his name? The young guy from Tampa.
Mm-hmm.
Young quarterback from
Josh
Tampa.
Freeman. Josh Freeman
from Tampa. They got Cam Newton from Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
Drew Brees from the New Orleans Saints. And they got Matty Ice from the Falcons. You talking about a loaded division.
Mm-hmm.
So 2-2 is not that bad at this moment. They're fine.
You're right. And here's the thing. Last year, the Panthers won 2 games, right? They won 2. And everybody knows the Panthers were a bit lousy, and they got the first pick. But that division still had more wins than any other division in football. They had
3 teams.
Yeah, 3 teams with 10 or more wins. That's a tough division. The NFC North, obviously with the Packers, the Lions are playing well. The Bears are always tough. Vikings are meh. But they're a tough division as well. The NFC is loaded. Let's jump right quick back to the AFC, though. I don't mean to jump around on you. Give me your top 3 teams in the AFC right now after the first quarter. How do you see the AFC's top 3?
The top 3 right now, I would say definitely Baltimore number 1. I'll go Chargers number 2, and I go Buffalo Bills number 3.
Wow. So you don't even have the Patriots in the top 3.
Not right now. Their defense is pretty weak.
That defense is pretty weak. That's a very good argument. All right, same question.
Secondary is very, very suspect right now.
Yeah, same question, NFC.
I'm a big Patriot fan, but that secondary is very weak and very vulnerable right now. But trust me, I'm playing for Bill Belichick. He'll get it together.
Yeah, you're a big Patriots fan because they put a lot of diamonds on your finger. That's why you're a big Patriots fan.
Ice, baby.
That's right. Same question, NFC. Top 3 teams right now. Run it down.
Top 3 teams in NFC.
You know the Packers are number 1.
Yeah, now, Green Bay Packers number 1.
Yeah, and then the Saints, right? Number 2, they got to be right there.
Yeah, Saints number 2, and I go Detroit.
There you go. That's a good pick. Detroit's playing well. They have come back and won games, and that I know it rallies. We talked to Eric Wright today. He's coming up on the podcast. So hey, Detroit's right there too. So it's fun. It's a fun time to watch football.
And what's exciting about it, much as that city's been through, man, you talk about a way of redemption. That's huge for those. And guess what? Wow, they're young. And they're hungry.
They're very young.
And they're hungry, too. So they got a good quarterback in Stafford. They got a very strong defense. And the defense getting some help coming back from their first round pick.
Yeah, fairly. Fairly returns, yep.
About to play here next week. So, man, they're going to be even tougher.
Yeah.
So watch out for those guys, man. But one thing they can't continue to do, Rouse, is continue to get down by 20. It's going to come back and bite them in their butt. They have to step it up before then. All that coming back after a while, not going to happen.
Yeah, I hear you absolutely. Hey, Fred McCrary, thanks so much for taking the time to talk to us today on the Skinny Post podcast. We really appreciate it. Next time you come down to Naples to visit your hometown, make sure you give me a call so I can whoop you on the golf course again like I always do.
Man, anytime, Rouse, man. Keep doing what you're doing, and much love to you, buddy.
Thanks, man. We'll talk to you soon. Be good. Fred McCrary, thanks so much. Gayle, as Fred and I had discussed, we had talked about it. What are the top 3 teams in the AFC right now as you see it? Let's get your top 3.
Well, I got to go with the Patriots, man. I still think with the minor slip-up in Buffalo, I still think the Patriots own that position. I also have the Ravens coming in as my second team. And, Ravens are a strong team. They always, have a push. And with Steelers looking not so hot right now and not too healthy, I think the Ravens, that could propel the Ravens a little bit further, I think.
Yeah.
And then Chargers are playing some good ball right now. I mean, you really got to be impressed. Mr. Jackson out on the outside is making things easy for Mr. Rivers.
Yeah.
And then the run game, Ryan Matthews is waking up. He's toting the rock, and I mean they look pretty good.
They do. They do look pretty good. I have them in my top three in the AFC. I like the Ravens better than the Patriots right now. Patriots has defensive issues. That's the bottom line. Their defense hasn't been what it has been since Richard Seymour's left. I know Will Fork is making a statement, getting some interceptions and doing some things, but I don't see that defense being a caliber that's going to compete with a team like Baltimore down the stretch. But it's still early. We have time. Now let's flip the script. Hold on real quick. NFC, who do you like? Packers, Saints, Lions. You got a bunch of teams in the mix there. Bears. Give me your top three.
The champ is here. That's the Packers, the Green Bay Packers. Still, I mean, they're looking like, they're just looking tough. All phases of the football, defense, special teams, offensively. I mean, it's just they're so good, it's ugly.
Yeah, they're silly good.
Then I got the Saints. Saints are doing some things. They can pass the rock. Their defense isn't as hot as I'd like it to be for them to be a top team. But the Saints, they can put up scores with the Packers. You saw that the first game of the season, and I still think they got some swag going. And then I got to give it to the Lions. Lions are doing their thing, 4-0. What else can you say?
Yeah, absolutely. And I have the same way, Packers, Saints, and Lions. I think it's still early. You still have some veteran teams that can, obviously the Atlanta Falcons, for example, aren't panicking. The Bears are still in the mix. There's a lot of teams that are still right there. But the Lions are a team of interest. They've had some big comeback wins this year. They had a big game in Dallas this weekend. So we gave a call up to Eric Wright, the cornerback of the Detroit Lions, who's had a couple big plays for them this year already. And we talked a little Detroit Lion football and what's going on up there in the Detroit city. Eric, thanks so much for joining us on the podcast today. It's great to have you.
Good to be here, man. I appreciate it.
Hey, no problem. Let's talk about them Detroit Lions, 4-0. How's it feel? You guys must be in high spirits.
Yeah, we've been putting in a lot of work, with the lockout. It put everybody, all teams in a situation that, coming in a training camp, you try to get as much done as possible. So, we work real hard to be in the position that we're at right now. So it's real satisfying to be 4-0.
Yeah. Now, you came over, from Cleveland. There was some things there that happened. Bygones are bygones, whatever. You moved on. You came over immediately, and you made an impact. I saw in the Tampa Bay game, close game at the end there. You had made a great play on the tight end to break up a pass and really seal the deal. Doesn't that feel good coming over and being a part of a new team and helping out right away?
Yeah, I mean, that was important for me to try to step in and help the team as much as possible just because, we're obviously a team that's on the rise with a lot of young players and, going in my fifth year to provide some sort of veteran leadership and as well step on the field and be, help the team be an impact, immediately.
Yeah, let's talk a little bit real quick about your comebacks this year. You guys have been down in some ball games, but you found a way to come back. Is that something that you feel can solidify you as a team and you can just grow off of it? Like it's just a positive on top of positive. Like you can't be beaten if you're down that many points and you come back to win, right?
Yeah, obviously you don't want to be in that situation, and we got to start faster and sort of stop shooting ourselves in the foot and digging big holes like that. Because it's not always going to end that way. But, you just attribute that to the character and the type of guys that we have on our team. Everyone's always positive and optimistic, and we're all hard workers. We don't give up. And, obviously it's nothing lucky about coming back on the road from being down 20 or being down 24 points. That's not just a lucky bounce or a lucky catch. That's just guys grinding it out and continuing to play for 4 quarters. So, you definitely have to look around in the locker room and, look at the type of players and the type of people you have in the locker room.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, let's be honest. We're here, we're being open, we're talking football. Were you surprised that the Dallas Cowboys were still throwing the ball with the lead they had against your defense? Were you guys not sitting in the huddle saying, hey, they're going to start to run the ball and salt this game away. We got to stop the run. But they came out and they kept throwing. Were you surprised?
I wasn't really surprised because of the way, they attacked us in the air. They kind of you take away a couple of big plays that they got early, and it was really controlled passing game. A lot of screens, a lot of hitch routes on the outside, curl routes, sort of not all the way max protect looks, but it kind of protected them well, and a couple catch and run plays and different things like that. So sometimes those plays substitute the run in a sense, and I think we did a pretty good job of slowing down the run early. So it wasn't really surprising to me that they kept winging it, because they had some success early as well.
Yeah. Now, real quick, I know you're on your way to go watch the Tigers and the Yankees. You're supporting your Detroit city, so I don't want to keep you too long. Being your first year in Detroit, being, obviously limited practice time, as we talked about, the lockout and things like that have not been a full offseason, if you will. Your first look at Stafford and Johnson together, you go up against CJ every day. What's it like? I mean, are these guys the best in the business?
I mean, it definitely developed in a rapport that has to be recognized as one of the tops, in the league. And these are two young players that have come up and grown together and are going to continue to grow. They both have great work ethic. And I mean, CJ obviously is he's the best receiver in the league, in my opinion. He's able to put everything together as a wide receiver, as far as him obviously being way taller than everybody. But he's extremely fast, extremely strong, runs great routes, and just finds ways to get open. I mean, the guy has 8 touchdowns at this point, and everybody knows that he's being double covered. But it doesn't matter. He just finds a way to get open and finds a way to make big plays for us. So, it's obviously the corner. I'm glad that he's on my team.
Absolutely. Well, Detroit Lions have obviously had their hardships in the past. Things are definitely turning around. You guys are winning ball games. You're undefeated this year. We want to wish you the best of luck going forward. And thanks so much for joining us. Eric Wright, cornerback of the Detroit Lions. Thanks so much.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Gayle, what do you think about what's going on in Detroit? As Eric had alluded to in the conversation, that basically they're a young team that's still kind of learning the ropes to win, but they're getting it done, and they got to shore some things up, but they are impressive.
I mean, you got to give credit to Jim Schwartz. I mean, the Lions are built on a great foundation. I mean, that cat he's a smart dude, graduated from Georgetown, came from humble beginnings. He's a blue-collar guy. You got to love that. And when you play in a city like Detroit, he's the perfect match. And he's teaching these guys, from his background. I mean, you could definitely tell it's, helping out the Lions in the long run. Matt Stafford, the kid's playing balls to the wall. And when you got Calvin Johnson out there, who's catching everything and anything, this guy could definitely break some records in touchdowns in receiving. It's great to see, man. And then last but not least, Dominican Sue. He's anchoring that defense right now. He's gutsy, gritty, plays angry, and I think it's contagious.
Yeah, they're definitely on the upswing, and that's the beauty of the NFL. Teams that are on the bottom are eventually going to rise up, and that's what the league is based on, not one or two teams consistently dominating, even though that does happen as well because they have good coaches and whatnot. But let's talk real quick, since we brought up the Lions and their comeback win. Let's look at the flip side of that quarter. What's up with Tony Romo? Is Tony Romo a winner? Let's be honest. Is he a winner or not? I mean, let's not, hold on a second. Let's not talk about a quarterback. Is he a quarterback? Yes, he can make all the throws. He's a good quarterback. But is he a winner? That's the question that I'm asking you.
See, I mean, there's two terms there. I mean, there's Tom Brady, winner, and then there's Jerry Jones' definition of winner. I mean, in my sense, Tom Brady is a winner. When you say Tom Brady, you think, what, winner? You say a guy like David Carr, what do you think? Backup, Giants. Yeah. Carson Palmer, a guy that was talented, not quite so good now, and he's retired. When you say Tony Romo, what is the feeling that you get? I don't say winner. I can't say he's a winner. I mean, he's done some good things, and he's done some crazy bad things, and some of the bad things he's done have reared their ugly head just lately, and it's not going too well in Cowboys Nation. And something has to be done. And I know Tony Romo's putting it on his back, but I mean, you can only do that for so long. But it's crazy. He's been there for 9 years as a Cowboy. Can you believe that? 9 years.
Yeah. Yeah, and like I said to Eric in our conversation, I asked him directly. I mean, you heard it. Why was the Cowboys throwing the football with a 27-3 lead in 10 minutes to go in the third quarter? Why aren't they trying to salt the game away? He had a great response, and you know they weren't surprised by that. But at the same time, I don't know if he's being put in a position personally. I'm not saying I disagree with Eric, who wasn't surprised. I was surprised. I was very surprised. I mean, you run the ball, what'd they run it, 13, 15 times? And now they've only got to kill a quarter and a half. I mean, it's ridiculous. Even if they went 3 and out and punted, just running the ball every time, I don't think Detroit has enough possessions to come back to win. I mean, it's just not enough time left to come back from 24 points. Unless you throw a pick six for a touchdown twice. I mean that's the difference. So
Carpenter had the last laugh on that one, Cowboys.
Yeah, I don't want to call Romo a loser, and I don't want to say he's not a winner. The story isn't complete yet. John Elway wasn't looked at as a winner until his final 2 seasons of his entire career. He got his team there and he lost. So Romo's story isn't written yet, but he's got to find the calm place in the middle, Tony. Just find that calm place. Just call Coach Jackson out in L.A. and find that zen.
I mean, if you're gonna say, I'd have to say he's the ultimate glass half empty, glass half full.
Yeah, but I'll tell you what, there's 20 teams in the NFL probably that would take him over what they got.
Right.
So there you got that too. But hey, I can't allow an Eagles fan to sit here and bash a Cowboys without bringing up what's going on in your own backyard. Hey, the dream team better wake up. So what's going on in Philly? What I'll give you what I think, and then I'm going to let you take the floor because I know this is your cup of tea. But what I see in Philly is just no basic football fundamentals. They've got all the pretty dressings, but what's for dinner? Where's the turkey on the table? I see some beautiful stuffing, some beautiful mashed potatoes. I see a great looking cake over there, but what are we going to eat for dinner? Where's my girth? Well, there's nothing up the middle of that defense. They're getting gashed by the run. They're making silly decisions with the football in the red zone. The fundamentals are just not there. I just don't see a complete team yet. They may get there, but that's just what I see. What do you see?
Too much, too soon. The Eagles in the offseason brought, too many schemes. I mean, they have a new offensive line coach. Howard Mudd came out of retirement. You've got his journeyman starting over last year's O-line. We have a rookie center, and then you have the first round draft pick Watkins, who still hasn't grasped what they're doing. So then again, Andy Reid, you have your first round draft pick not even relevant to this team. Second round draft pick hasn't seen the field. Third round draft pick hasn't seen the field. So people are upset about that. But all in all, the defensive, the wide nine, awesome for sacks, but it puts way too much pressure on the linebacking core, and they're getting gashed. I'm talking the Eagles defense is giving basically 5 yards a carry to every running back who sets foot on that field. I mean, it's ridiculous. I mean, and that's there's a lot of red zone offense is a problem. It's it's like on 20 of 21 drives, they've only scored touchdowns on 8 of them. That's like 38%. They rank 23rd in the NFL. I mean, last year's Eagles scored on 53% of their red zone trips, and they were 14th in the NFL. And it's just like.
So did maybe perhaps we saw Michael Vick play out of his mind last year, and we got too maybe overzealous that this was going to happen every year, and maybe he's kind of come down to reality a little bit, and he's not the Michael Vick that we saw, just destroying teams last year?
I think he's still the same Michael Vick. I think, overall the team might have drank the Kool-Aid a little bit. How couldn't you? I mean, I hate the term dream team. Vince Young, I hate you for that.
Yeah, I bet a lot of people feel that way.
I mean, Michael Vick has been getting smashed. I'm talking from preseason on. He's been getting annihilated. I mean, they can't get
Well, that's what I'm
protection
talking
for this
about.
guy.
That's what I'm talking about when I say I don't see any turkey on that table. The teams are built on the ball. You start on the ball and work your way out. And when all of your talent is just on the outside, your quarterback isn't going to do much. Your running back isn't going to do much if your line is being pushed back in their face every time they snap the ball. If he's not getting time in a pocket to find those, receivers that, let's be honest, they're not big receivers. They've got to get open. And you've got to have throwing lanes for them. It's not like a Calvin Johnson or an Andre Johnson or a Brandon Marshall you can just throw the ball up high to and they're going to go get it. No, you've got to hit them in a window on a route that hopefully is on the run, that they're gone for an 80-yard slant or something of that nature. I mean, that's what that team likes to do. A bunch of slants, hitches, a bunch of quick, short passing game, utilize running backs out of the backfield. I tell you what, if it wasn't for LaShawn McCoy, the Eagles probably wouldn't even have a win this year.
I mean, if you do look at you got to look at their 3 losses. Those are 3 winnable games that they've had the leads in the fourth quarter that they've given up. The last game they gave up 21 unanswered points in the fourth quarter, and then they 2 fumbled.
Yeah, you could do this all day though. In the NFL, you are what you are, 1-3. Sorry, hate to break your heart.
It's rough though.
I hear you. Hey, we appreciate everybody stopping by the weekly podcast. We do our best to bring new guests on every week to talk a little football with you. Make sure you tune in next week as we catch up on everything NFL. Once again, I'm Steve O'Reilly, and that's Gayle Saunders. We're giving you the skinny 24/7.